I've been feeling sick, which has left me in a super chipper mood. A wood chipper mood, that is. In author news, book sales boom, but author income drops. I cover the four essential elements to becoming a better writer, according to Fast Company, and how to write humor when all we see is anger and depression. I'm your host, Noah Barfield, and welcome to Author News. Everybody likes books, right? Well, according to The Guardian, people love books, which is a good thing for us writers, and we've seen book sales up 5% on the previous year. However, this has been met with a startling 42% drop in author earnings, with a median annual income for most writers now below 10.5 thousand British pounds. So the good news seems to be that no matter what type of book sales, whether that's paperback, hardback, audiobook, or whatever your choice may be, there's definite interest in reading, but that doesn't mean there's been a definite increase in cold, hard cash. Tracy Chevalier, the author of Girl with a Pearl Earring, noted, authors have seen their earnings chipped away at while publishers continue to thrive. She goes on to discuss the nature of modern authorship, being that most authors aren't just writers but also have one or more other jobs as well. Additionally, Joanne Harris, the author of Chocolate, that one, seemed to agree, stating, I am concerned that publishers don't seem to be able to see past the next big blockbuster book by a white American male in his mid-60s. Additionally, there is a general consensus that many publishers are investing more time in backing celebrity books or books written by established authors than they are searching for upcoming authors or trying to find new talent. This is compounded with what authors are accusing Amazon of, which is artificially keeping book prices down and undermining their incomes. Now, I have a few observations on the story as a whole. I haven't dug much into it, but I'm going off of what I've read and also what I know of the industry. First, book sales are increasing, which is great. No matter how you look at it, the more people reading or listening to audiobooks, the better. The more people engaging in literature, the better off we as authors are. However, whenever you look at the decline in author incomes, it's important to keep something in mind. Namely, that the writing community is huge, just ginormous. So many people write just for the joy of it, which is a good thing, but they don't have any intention of it being their primary profession. And this goes hand in hand with the competition many professional authors will encounter in the marketplace. Now, on Miss Chevalier's observation, such a great name by the way, I don't think publishers are thriving to the detriment of authors. The game is changing in modern times, and they have to change with it. They're making calculated risks as companies, because if they don't, they collapse. It's profits first, altruism second for these companies. From what I've seen, many publishing companies are putting up a strong front, but that's all it is. I think they're trying just as hard to succeed in this big game as individual authors are. They're just playing with larger numbers. Finally, on the notes of Ms. Harris and on Amazon, I have two things to say. First, I think many publishing companies are in fact trying to hedge their bets with celebrities and established authors, hoping that pre-established fame, even fame outside of the writing world, will help them gain or retain a financial lead. I also think that this will inevitably blow up in their faces and they will run out of capital, and in turn have to seek out new talent. However, this is not to say that all publishing companies are like this, and instead of complaining about the ones that are this way, it would behoove us as a community to bolster and support the ones that aren't. As for Amazon, they practically own the market. We play by their rules. If you don't like it, you'll have to play somewhere else. Otherwise, you may need to talk with your publisher about the pricing rather than the distributor. Additionally, from what I know of Amazon, when they do a sale and you see that a book is normally sold at $19.95, but it's on sale right now for $14.95, I believe Amazon eats that cost and you still retain the same share of profits. However, that could have changed since I initially set it up, or I could have misunderstood what my publishers had told me. Things could have changed. So if they have, please let me know. But speaking of change, haven't you ever wanted to change yourself into a better writer, that is, into a more perfect being? Well, buckle up, because Fast Company has some fast tips on how to become a better writer. Fast. Fast Company tip number 1. Good writing takes collaboration. Yes, it does. It's very beneficial to bounce ideas off of others, have brainstorming sessions, and even collaborate with other authors. It can round out your style and give you greater diversity. As I mentioned before, the writing community is large, and you should take advantage of that. Fast Company tip number 2. To grow as a writer, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Also, good idea. Yes, do that, definitely. Even if you don't write paranormal romance, it's still a good idea to read it. Try your hand at it. Incorporate elements that may work into your story, and using your own style, put your unique spin on it. Endeavor to write articles and speeches, going not just outside of your genre, but outside of your type of writing that you generally do. Don't let it get too cluttered, however. An action, thriller, paranormal, romance, sci-fi, detective, horror story set in a dystopian zombie world may seem really cool, but it has a lot of moving parts. And most of those parts probably want to eat you. Fast Company tip number 3. Writing doesn't have to sound like writing. It can sound like a conversation. That's called dialogue. Fast Company tip number 4. Your headline should sell your idea without giving it away. For nonfiction, like articles such as this, yes, absolutely, definitely, 100% that. With novel titles, however, it can be a little different. Your title really just has to be cool and relate to your story. It can honestly be whatever you want as long as it relates to the original source material and meshes well with the cover art. However, on that note, the more marketable your title is, the easier it will be to sell your book. If you name your novel something like The Chosen One, you will have to compete with a different and diverse range of scripts and stories and many different types of content out there, ranging from animated to vocal to written. Now, if you name your story something like, I don't know, Legendland, for instance, it easily encapsulates the essence of your novel, and you only have to compete with manufacturers of farming equipment and one dated symphonic metal album. Now, we've reached story time. This story comes to us courtesy of Destiny Piela? Destiny, entitled Advice. It's a shame you didn't take my advice, she said as she wept over me whilst I lay in my box staring back at her. At the time she had given it to me, I didn't feel the need to take it, but I guess I should have, and I could have avoided this whole situation. Things happen for a reason, and this reason was a teenage boy. I did it for him. Every move I made for him. He claimed he loved me, and I wanted to believe him. I did believe him. Unfortunately, believing him was the worst decision I ever made. Had I not made the choice to blindly follow him, I probably wouldn't be laying here, cold and dead, with the mark of an axe stuck in my skull, regretting ignoring her advice. And our final article comes from Pointer, with a Y. Fancy. Humor columnist Mark Harmon says strife can spur the best work. I think a lot of humor comes from being aghast at something, Harmon says. He goes on to say he's been pretty much non-stop aghast for the past year and a half, and I think we can all relate to that. Harmon says he finds his search for other, often absurd ways to tell a story to be satisfying, if not therapeutic. And according to Pointer, with a Y, his goal is twofold: make people laugh and help people consider a different perspective. Considering that he's a liberal in Tennessee, Harmon should have plenty of opportunity. Despite the Knoxville paper firing him due to cutbacks, he managed to get a new gig at the Farragut Press, which I'm grateful for, because more writing work, more diversity. And to quote Harmon on why this is a good thing, have you seen all those stories about Bigfoot porn? Like, what a time not to be writing a column. It's just sitting there. I think we can all learn a little something from Harmon's story. First, that even if there are cutbacks, that's not the end. You will find a new job, a new career path, if you're good at what you do, if you have the right connections and the right knowledge, and you continue to push yourself. That takes time and experience and a little bit of trouble on your end, actually. But no matter how much depression, angst, or aggression there is swirling around us, there is always time for relaxation and for humor. Humor may get dark, it may get cynical, or it may be misunderstood. In some cases, it can be said to be downright illegal. But it is necessary. It is important for humor to exist. Comedy is a universal coping mechanism, and it helps bring people together, something that I find more important now than ever. So that's all for author news. I'll go ahead and let you skip right on past this to the outro if you want, but I did in fact check it out about the Bigfoot porn, and I wish I hadn't, but here's what I learned. So earlier in the month, during a U.S. House race, of all things, one of the contestants was revealed to enjoy some Bigfoot erotica. You know, sexual stories about our hairy Sasquatch friend. And also, he apparently cavorts with white supremacists. I don't know which one is worse. I'm having a hard time believing any or all of it, actually, but it's there. It happened. However, that's not the end of it. There's more. His opponent is also an alleged anti-Semite, and her last name is Cockburn, so yeah, there's just so much in this story, so much to unpack. Well, I mean, not from his Cockburn, but there's just so much there. I find it difficult to even think that this is the state we live in right now. My thoughts are a bit jumbled on it because I honestly don't even know how to react. If there are stories as wild and as crazy as this, why am I talking about nameless gods killing people and teaming up with forgotten Amazonian queens? Like, what's going on here? I want to thank you all for watching this author news video. I have a new upload schedule in the works that I will hopefully be revealing next week if everything goes well. If you have any writing news you find interesting, please message me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or leave a comment below. You can also share articles, posts, and news with the hashtag #AuthorNews, and it will come by my feed, I promise. And if you have any stories of your own or friends that you would like to see read in the next author news video next week, please use the contact form on the ArcStorm website. I'll even put a link down below for that. And you can explain to me why you think your story should be read. So thanks everyone. I really appreciate your patience and your support. Please like, comment, subscribe, and ring-a-ding-a-ling that bell, because it's a thing you've got to do now. And stay tuned for my next video. I'll see you then. Bye!